Hello and welcome to a live Wraggys beer reviews, which hasn't happened for a while, to be fair. And I couldn't wait till fucking 7 o'clock. It was doing me nothing, sat there waiting for the cameras to turn on, So, hey ho, good evening. So tonight, obviously, lots of chat, which is what you'd expect. Got a beer versus beer. So I've got this. This is my all grain sticky toffee pudding imperial stout, over 11%, about 11.5%, versus that bad boy. I went to Tesco's earlier and I thought, well, let's do a proper live beer versus beer. We're going to go up against Vocation Breweries mint chocolate stout, barrel aged, 12.2%. Beer versus beer. That's some beer versus beer, to be fair. And I've just done a beer review as well, funnily enough. Yeah, get me in the mood for a beer, as it were. Not that I need to get in the mood for a beer, but these things. So yeah, beer versus beer. Two big beers against each other's. Should be a laugh. No spilling beer tonight. I hope not. Good evening, Kevin, and good evening, Benjamin, who was in the chat earlier, I can see. And I will try and keep my eyes on both screens, because if you swear, it doesn't show up on YouTube. It shows up on StreamYard, but it doesn't show up on YouTube. God knows why that is. That's weird, that is. But hey, England versus Spain on Sunday. Hey, fucking hell. I'll tell you what, them girls, they may not be the most gifted, and they aren't, not versus blokes, but they're in the World Cup final. Eh? You can't say that about the blokes, can you? And despite the millions they get paid. So, yeah, two cracking beers. I'll give it about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll pour a bit of each, and we'll see how things go. So, yeah, 5 years of Wraggys beer reviews. Wow. And it was only a hobby. Like I say, I watched TV one day. Central News was on, and Simon, Real Ale Craft Beer, was on the news, and I thought, I can talk shit about beer, and yeah, 5 years later, still talking shit about beer as well sometimes. But yeah, it's crazy how the channel. I mean, I remember the early days of the channel, and Dean's beer reviews was the first of any of the beer reviewers to say hello and want me to go on a live with him. And I thought, fucking hell. I looked at all his subscribers. I thought, I'm not going on a live. I bottled that. I thought, nah, I can't do it. Can't do it. Scare the shit out of me going on a live. And these days, lives as well as beer reviews, dead nervous doing the first beer review. Good evening, Mr. POW Allen. Yeah, the first beer reviews, absolutely. I tell you what, it's more nerve-wracking than you realise. Talking to a camera, it's like fucking hell, and trying to make yourself sound in the slightest bit knowledgeable, which I've never have been. But there you go. Yeah, I've got a Paulana Munich Hell's, only cold beer I've got, just back from Bridlington. I was Bridlington, mate. Did you get to the tap room and speak to our man Stuart? Yeah, I'm not going to stop the beer reviews. There was times in darker times when, I thought, is it worth it? But it is my bit of salvation in this world, and we need a bit of salvation. Fucking hell. I have that Brewdog top for for 5 years. Cheers, Danny boy. Cheers. I don't consider myself one of the best at all, but yeah, it's nice. It's nice to hear nice things from people, Yeah, I get plenty of comments where you say, "Oh, your beer reviews are shit," and I just think, yeah, it's my opinion. Yeah, and that's your opinion. Not that I take the notice, but there you go. It was good, but I didn't get to the tap room, sadly. Missed that one. Oh, fair play. As long as, busy with kids. Yeah, I can understand that. Didn't touch a drop while there. Whew. Picked up a Wold Top Blonde from a shop there, though. I like Wold Top. Pretty flipping damn decent brewery. It's Pow, as in short for Paolo. Ah, ratio. There you go. Watching along with a peanut buttermilk stout. What, the one from Home Bargains? Home Bargains are so fucking hit and miss. I went to the local one, the slightly smaller one. Nothing in there. Absolutely bob. Not even any of the American beers. The big one, which is at Toys R Us near the QMC in Nottingham, Queen's Medical Centre, they've got all the American beers, loads there. So it's such hit and bloody miss with Home Bargains. Yeah, thought it would be. The peanut butter one was a bit, I don't know, all beers. I mean, let's be fair. Every single beer you drink, it's all down to your personal preference. Just because I like a beer, you may think it's shit. Vice versa. You know, you may think that your beer is the best beer in the world. However, with the Home Bargains ones, not the USA ones, because they're from USA, and but certainly the ones, the Glen Affric ones, yes. Well, if they are Glen Affric, they might be Glen Affric in a certain part of the country. They might be a different brewery in another part of the country. And this is the thing. In different parts of the country, you may get a batch from a different brewery who don't really give a shit. And yeah, I have found that Home Bargains are that one. Too many times I've been told that a certain beer, you know, that their fake own brand, Off Axis or whatever it's called, their fake brand is an amazing beer. And someone says it's an amazing beer. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I got it. You drank it. Shit, fucking disgusting as well. And then I drank another one, which was amazing. And other people have drank it. So that fucking beer was disgusting. And I know now that it's brewed in batches by different breweries. Can't verify it, of course, but I'm absolutely sure of this. The beer then by me has stopped selling beers and food. Strange. Yeah. Danny, my local B&M, the nearest one to me, doesn't sell. Never has sold beers for whatever reason. Good evening, Max. It's been a while. And cheers, matey. Yeah, why B&Ms don't? I mean, you go to a B&M to look at the beers. Not that there's any beers these days. They've not even got the one from Marston's. These old Ode Roger. I've not even seen Ode Roger for a while because I'd like to review Ode Roger again. Give it a good Rogering, as it were. And yeah, I've not even seen that. So, 2 beers. For the 5th birthday, because, you know, beers and buildings. Good evening, sir. How are you? Glen Cannick is definitely, yeah, it is. It's definitely Glen Affric. They are a bit hit and miss, though. Same director name is there for both. Marston's Ode Roger. It was only available 2 or 3 years ago. It was widely available. But I think Marston's, since Carlsberg took over, have dumped a lot of their range. You need to look at Witchwood. Witchwood is shocking. Hobgoblin is the shittiest beer now compared to what it was. If you drink it a year apart, you'll notice. If you're drinking it week in, week out, you may not notice. But if you drink it after a year or so, and you're back to it and you think, fucking hell, it's not the beer I remember. And this is where sometimes they get it past you. They'll slip something in and you don't notice straight away, unless you really do know your beers. But yeah, it's really sad. So, Vocation Brewery versus Wraggys Sticky Toffee Imperial Stout. So the mint chocolate, barrel-aged mint chocolate versus my barrel-aged, although it was barrel-aged, yeah, not in any wooden barrels, but still barrel-aged. It'd be interesting to see. Mine was barrel aged for 4 months and then bottle conditioned for a month. So this would be interesting. Used to be my favourite bit of shopping. Let me wipe our eyes as I go straight to the beer selection. Same here, mate. Absolutely the same. Walk around the aisles and pretend to be interested. Yeah. yeah. We'll go into B&M, go down the first aisle, that shitty aisle with all the offers on. And then there's like a cut through into the beer aisle. It's like, I'm going that way. And I look at the wines and I'm like, yeah, right. The spirit section, yeah. Ciders, sometimes not bad, but the beers and lagers, shit, they're boring. It's the same stuff. They've gone down the avenue of being ranged, where they've got the same stuff in all the time, which is all right, but it gets so boring. Good evening, Mr. Mersey Bears. It's been a while. Oak barrel aged, I wish. If I could buy a little barrel cheap enough, I'd do an imperial and stick it in a barrel. You know, something like a 40-pint barrel. Don't want to go for a 400-pint because you know, yeah, it takes somebody drinking. But just like Heineken did, Newcastle Brown, fucked a great beer. Yeah, I'm surprised that I got onto there. Yeah. Usually on YouTube, they won't let you unless it's because you've got the spanner next to you. Because usually on YouTube, if you put a swear word in, they won't put it on this feed. It'll only stay on the StreamYard bit. That's interesting. But yeah, Newcastle Brown, it tastes like watered down piss now. It's brown ale in only colour, and it's just like a nasty, like a brown lemonade with a bit of ABV added. I just dislike it so much compared to what it used to be. Yeah, own bargains. I got to agree there, being buildings. Own bargains. What's making own bargains interesting is this American range. Yay, they are not the top of the range. It's all pretty standard, cheap stuff. But at least it's something that nobody else is doing. And it is interesting. Although I've got the cucumber one. And yeah, that might be a way too far. From the oak barrel age, infecting the beer from re-fermenting it with any wild yeast in the wood. Yeah, that's a issue, couldn't it? If it's soaked with alcohol, that may curb that. I mean, for me, next time I do an impy, it's probably just to stick a couple of litres, or even 3 or 4 litres of something, a whiskey or bourbon in, and then try not to drink it too fast. And maybe not give it out. So, commercial versus home brewer. This could be interesting. And obviously, it is my beer versus vocation, but I'm going to be true to the course. I want to see how lively this is when I pour it, because this could be, it could be interesting. So, hopefully, it doesn't piss out all over. I did put sugar in when I took it out of the barrel. So it was secondary fermented in the barrel, but then obviously I put it into a bottle, and you've got to add a bit of sugar, otherwise it's going to be flat. So oh, it's spilling, bastard! That's beer lost. Don't like losing beer. Jesus Christ! I'd have been a bit more quicker there. I'd have put my mouth to it before it went, bastard. So, as I do with all beer versus beers, was it good? Smells amazing as well. Let me wipe it on my trousers. Then my work trousers. I got my work trousers on and an half decent top on. Arboretum days, yeah. So it's really you can hear the fizzing on that. The carbonation going. Obviously, had to put sugar in. All the mini kegs went. The last one had gone off. Yeah, but that was one that was gifted to me, and it was already at the end of its life, basically, best before. So as we can see, it did have a tan head on it. It's dissipated now. Lovely black pour. Aroma wise, so this is a sticky toffee pudding. It's off a recipe that I got from Brew Day Supplies, although Good evening, Christy, and thank you. And you can still hear that. You can hear that on the camera. You can hear it when you put it to your head. So I can still smell the sticky toffee. I want to let it die down a bit and let it go near enough flat. So a good comparison against the vocation beer, as it were. Whoa, there's a real intensity on this. So when I crack this open, good evening, Thomas. How are you? When I cracked this open at the wedding, that was the first time. The night before the wedding, actually, and when I cracked it open, even I was surprised by the taste. I don't think it's now that as thick as it was initially. I think putting it into the bottle and re-fermenting it is actually thinned it a little bit. But how is it? How easy is it to brew your own beer? From a kit, super easy. Go to somewhere like Love Brewing or Creative Winemaking. You've got kits on there. The Bulldog Brews kits, so easy. Especially the ones that have got the hops in a tea bag and literally, super easy to brew. This was all grain. So this was made, using grain brewing techniques. So you're spending about 4 or 5 hours brewing this. And then I added, now I'm getting the toffee. Toffee's coming through proper now. And I had chopped up dates and figs. It can be as complex as it needs to be, or as easy as it needs to be. The more you spend on a beer kit, the better beer you'll get. The £10 beer kits, although cheap, don't produce the greatest beer. The £30 beer kits, depending on your style of beer, will produce a better beer. It's about the best way I can say that, really. Thank you, Benjamin. Yeah, 5 years. Yeah, just an excuse to come down the shed for a beer, and it still is. Just under 4 years, Mersey Beers. I can always remember that time doing the low-cost beer advent calendar, and I could see all these beer names coming up, and I'm like, shit, because I didn't see the comments before, because I used to follow. Nowadays, I've got YouTube Studio, so I see literally most of the comments. I do not see all the comments, most of the comments. But on them days, I just used to follow YouTube, and it only used to chuck up so many comments. So I'm thinking, one, no one's talking, and two, I didn't see half these names. But yeah, it's been a journey, it's been a good journey for the most part, at least. Started during lockdown, so really dark times. Yeah, it's been a lot better. Certainly since them days. Jesus Christ, that COVID, that area up till I left that fucking job was a tough time. And I'm literally on the 3-year anniversary of me being at this workplace I'm at now, which is amazing, really. And Casey O'Donnell, thank you. Cheers. Yeah, I mean, during COVID, just to get normality, I suppose, was a good thing, wasn't it? You look at the news, scaring the shit out of people. The media are terrible for scaring people. If you watch the news now and going on about Ukraine and Russia, and they want to scare you into thinking World War III is going to happen. No one's daft enough to put a nuclear bomb into play. No one. They can say it all they like to scare people, but no one's daft enough to do that because it's the end of the world. So no one's daft enough. and they shouldn't do it, and shouldn't say it in the first place. But Putin did that for an obvious reason, to make everyone back off. But yeah. Bonjour, Negan. It's been a while. Watching Forest later. I haven't got a streaming thing for it now. I did have a good app, but the app's died. So yeah, so I'll probably just catch the highlights at the end. I just don't repeat Sheffield. Yeah, it'd be nice to be all the Beer No Ideas side. Yeah, and then give him some shit later. Message him and say, "Fucking hell, you lost." But you know, it's so that I'll wait to see if we win first. If we win, then yeah. I mean, I've been there and fucking Sheffield beat us 3-0 at the City Ground. Or did we beat them? No, they beat us. So back in the day when we were both in the Premiership. Yeah, COVID work was awful, wasn't it? I mean, being an outside worker makes no difference now. I could be in COVID now and no one would know because I don't really talk to anybody anyway. So uh, I'm in COVID regulations all the time, apart from when I go in to get a coffee. Good evening, Dave, Mr. Goathead. It has been a while, mate. I'm on a bus trying to get back to John Set. Won't be too long. About 30 minutes to catch up then. Cheers, mate. Cheers. Sold our best midfielder and our best striker. Oh, Benjamin, you support Sheffield as well, don't you? Yeah. It's going to be an interesting year for both Forest and Sheffield United this year. You would think after last year that Forest would be in a better place to survive a little bit further up the table. But will we? You don't know, do you? We lost 2-1 to Arsenal. Owanwe is a great player for Forest. Hopefully he'll stay a great player, not get bloody injured for the season. I had COVID a few days, didn't test. My other half did, one positive. To be honest, IPTV, 50 quid a year. As much as you want. Oh, ITO. I'm well behind the times with the other ways of getting films and that. I mean, I know B-Flix is great for films, as long as you get past the first 4 bloody pop-ups that threaten you with that your system's been, hacked and all that rubbish. I was tested positive last Thursday. I was battling till Monday night. Oof. To be honest, I've never, ever been badly with COVID. Apparently, I had it once, apparently, but no. But it was that scaremongering that you could have had it and you could have been really ill. And obviously, people did die from it, as far as we know. Who knows? Can you trust the government? I'm not sure if you can, especially not the Conservatives. Although any of them, they're all line bleeders. So it's looking nice now. I mean, it's still got its head on it. It's actually retained its head. So that tells you that the carbonation from being in the bottle conditioned, has actually worked because it's actually gained its head. And the aroma's really kicking out now. Now the air's getting to it. You know, at my Wraggys Beer Festival, good evening, Mr. Arachnomancer01. I have to sometimes look because obviously, when you've had a drink, you get names wrong, and I hate getting names wrong because it makes you look a twat. Makes me look a twat. From America, well, welcome. Drinking Coors Light. Cheers. I used to love Miller's. Don't see it these days. Used to see it in Morrison's in the UK, but don't really see it these days. But that was in my more lager drinking days than I am now, to be fair. Would rather have had the Delta variant, which was the worst one than last week. I don't know what it was, but Friday felt like death. He even called in sick Saturday, and I never did. Wow, fair play there. Maybe don't lose to VAR like my Wolves did Monday night against United. Yeah, well, Man United, they're always looked after, aren't they? Yeah. VAR is a strange old thing. it depends who you support, because it always seems to be certain teams that get all the decisions, even bullshit decisions. I remember playing Liverpool, and there was this absolute bollocks decision where the line looked like it was on a fucking wonk. So it made Liverpool onside, and it's like, fuck off, they're offside. You could see it on the TV camera, they're offside. And but you know, we have to go with what they say. You know, think that rubbish. Saturday night, 10 p.m. Suddenly felt like a new, but instantly better. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird how sometimes things come and go. Good evening, Christopher. How are you? 5 years, 5 years of beer reviews, eh? Yeah, drank some. Whoa, anti-just. Yeah, oh dear. I would not, and I absolutely, touch wood, would not like to put an answer to anyone, me, wife, anyone, on how much I've drank in 5 years. And certainly during the really dark times, you know, I had a lot of spirits then. And yeah, you know, when you're not well mentally and that, you know, you need something to drown yourself in, you know, for want of a better word. And yeah, I had a lot of spirits, and there's a reason why I have no spirits at all in the beer room. There are no spirits, there are no wines, and there's very few imperial stouts. That's because I've been necking them. And but yeah, Philip, good evening. Thank you. Drank 5 livers worth. Fucking hell. Yeah, and then some. My liver must be made of super material, because wow. Oh, it's on its last legs. One of the two. Well, I've still got a good complexion on this, so you know, all that vitamin D from being out in the sun. Yeah, spirits. I made that decision because I could come down the shed, you know, after a really bad night 3 years ago, and I don't even know if I was honest then, but I'm certainly honest now. I'd have a pint of whiskey, and that's not good, you know. And yeah, pint of whiskey, pint of vodka. I didn't give a shit. If I need something just to quell the day, I mean, I had some brutal days at work, so I need something to take that brutalness away. I mean, the 20-year-old version of me would have reacted and probably been in prison for doing something, you know, which probably was well deserved. But you know, the 48-year-old version of me was, you know, thinks about his family, thinks about bringing the pennies home to survive, and you know, and yeah, life can be tough, and what, you know, you can understand why people do. I can't think of a bloody word now, on the waves, but yeah, life's like the waves, isn't it? You know, and good evening, Ali, and welcome. It's been a while, and 5 years. Oof, a much needed constant. You know, if there's one thing about the channel which has been the most humbling of it all, and now and again I'll go off on one, and you know, but none of us are perfect in this world. But the comments that you get when people say, and a lot of people only say in private. A lot of people won't come on these chats and say anything, but they'll tell me in private, and they'll say like the things like, you know, listening to you helped me through a bad patch, and it's like, you know, and in some ways the beer reviews, certainly, and then the live beer reviews. When we did those live beer reviews for like 6 months, God, I was steaming most nights. That broke the wife's back, to be fair, but there you go. But the channel, learning that it helped people, you know, it also reciprocated to me because it helped me as well. You know, to know that you're in some ways doing some good, by drinking beer, yeah, talking shit. But you know, it is a good thing. And so anyway, we're doing beer versus beer. I've got both beers here. I've let mine just because it's bottle fermented. It needs to die down a bit because it's slightly too lively. Cheers, Jimmy. Cheers. And good evening. So yeah, so that's mine, made from all grain and treacle. Was it treacle? Yeah, it was treacle. A toffee essence, dates. I had to chop up dates. That was weird. And Chinwagon apartment when we couldn't. Yeah, and obviously you know that because you know, from all the way back then. Yeah, and the channel back then was probably at its strongest that it ever was. I look at my statistics that I get, and the watched hours per 28 days was ridiculous. It was really high. It's nowhere near as high these days, but then again, I don't do the lives like I used to. To be honest, I'm not busy that I can't anyway, even if I wanted to. And if the wife would let me, you know. But they were good days. The community back then, apart from the little idiots that used to come on, but the community back then was unbelievable. But obviously, not only do I go back to work full time, but everybody else did. And life did move on a bit. So anyway, this was amazing at my wedding, and it's still smelling amazing now. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I think most times keep drinking, but then like you, the rest of us have got to go back to normal. Yeah. I think during the winter months, certainly in December. Not that I'm a Brewdog fan. Wife bought me this T-shirt, but it's not a bad T-shirt to be fair. And it's really weird that this T-shirt, only £3 or £4, but it sticks out my chest here and it flattens my belly, and I'm fucking good for that. You know, I mean, any T-shirt that makes a little fatty boy look a bit more slimmer is a fantastic T-shirt, you know. And I think I got it from Poundland in their cheap area. Well, the wife did, but gotta be honest, yeah, it makes me. I put it on the other day. I mean, this is about the third day I've wore it, but I've only been wearing it for a few hours. But when I've done beer reviews and then took it off again for bed, I ain't sold myself to no one. But I looked on Brewdog's site, and to be honest, there's some nice beers on their site. But I'm going to do the Brewdog Advent Calendar. Why? Because it's readily available. It's bloody cheap compared to a lot of other Advent calendars. There's bound to be a lot of beers we've not tried before, and it'll be interesting nonetheless. Just at the decent, not shit beers. But yeah, COVID, chatting to people. Yeah, chatting makes such a difference. I'm at work all day on my own, and today I didn't take me my little speaker to listen to music, so I'm talking to myself. Yeah, I had a right argument on stage. Yeah, felt like hitting myself with the trowel. I didn't, but no, but but yeah, I need one of them belly hiding t-shirts. Fucking hell! Do you know when it's just been washed? Put it on the first day, and it's like, whoa, the belly's gone. It's like, whoa, that's good. Yeah, I need about 10 of them. And you have a six-pack wearing that t-shirt. Yeah, I thought the same buildings. And Thornbridge's Advent calendar from the other year was pretty decent. There was some nice beers. The only thing that bugged me about the Thornbridge, I would have put the Big Impy on the 24th. They put the Big Impy on like the 20th. The 24th beer was a bit shit. And you think to yourself, put the fucking Impy at the end. Put the big beer at the end. It's Christmas. Jimmy, we're already so flipping close to Christmas. It's ridiculous, isn't it? The years, the I mean, I was fretting about my wedding right up till about an hour before it happened. And yeah, it's just crazy how fast this year's gone. I've been working like an absolute idiot all year, saving. We've had a lot of stuff in the last year: dog, cars. Oh God! And life is meant to test you, isn't it? And daughter's wedding in literally 3 weeks. 3 weeks today is my daughter's wedding. Yeah. Although we've got to look after the little babbies, so they get to enjoy themselves. Me and the wife are the official babysitters for the two of them. So I'm going to take the 2-year-old out of the way. I'm going to get a pint and take him for a walk around the grass. Me and him will go for a walk, simply so that everybody else can have a great time. And I can have a chill with my little man and maybe take a football with him. And if it's not pissing it down outside on the day, me and him will have a kick around with the football, have a laugh. And yeah, just so everybody else can have a good time. I can have a good time whenever I want. That's what the beer room's about. Anyway, 35 minutes in. I haven't cracked open the vocation yet. Thornbridge one. Thornbridge is decent. There's a lot of they bring out a hell of a lot of different beers, and I like Thornbridge as a brewery. Their range of beers, you'll get some that you've had before. There's no doubt about it. Jaipur is going to be in there, you know. But because they do so many different beers, and they will hold beers back ready for Christmas. So from about September onwards, they'll be brewing beers, but they'll hold X amount back for the Advent calendars, right the way up until November time. And they're brewing 24 hours a day. Them guys are, yeah. You don't want Jaipur on day 24. I think it was day 23 the other year. Cocoa Wonderland. Oh, I do like Cocoa Wonderland. So that's my beer. I've talked about my beer. So let's yeah, Brewdog are bound to have had ones I've had before. I looked on their website earlier, to be fair. Some nice beers on their website. And if I was a little bit more flush at the moment, I might treat myself, but I'm not, so I'm not. And right, so clean glass. Maybe I should have gone for a different glass because both glasses are the exact same, but one's mint and one's not. Thornbridge are probably the best of the big craft beer brewers. Yeah. I mean, Vocation probably could near enough get out an Advent calendar, but I'm not sure. You look at all the rest of them, and I don't think any of them could do an Advent calendar that's at a price that you can afford. If you're paying £6 or £8 a beer, it ain't happening. I mean, 100 quid for an Advent calendar, yeah, it's doable, pricey but doable. But if £8 a beer, I mean, if Beak, great brewery, they did an Advent calendar, you're looking at 160 quid, and yeah, it ain't going to sell that well at that price, unfortunately. So, Vocation's mint chocolate stout, barrel aged. Doesn't say it's barrel aged in anything, but anything else says 12.2%, £4.30 for the beer. So I pour it from a height just so we get a bit of a head. There we go. That's ignited the old head. Nice decent head on there. Black pour. Nice tan head. I dare say most people here probably had the mint chocolate before. No. Me and the wife were talking about Christmas earlier, and we're basically saying years ago, for most years, we'd spend 300 quid on each of us. But I'd rather spend 100 quid maximum, and that 200 quid go out somewhere. Have some time out. We are at that age now where we've got enough stuff, you know. I don't really care for new clothes. I don't care for jewelry in any case whatsoever. So, you know, but to go out like we're going to Lincoln next week, to go out to Lincoln and you know, I don't play video games like I used to years ago. Costs you bleeding much anyway. And every time they bring a video game out, it's shit. My son tells me that. My older son. So, luxurious minty and bittersweet flavours give way to sophisticated after-dinner style dark chocolate, enhanced by the barrel aging over 9 months in bourbon. Should say that on the front. It should say it's bourbon barrel aged. Vocation Brewery did a collab with Neon Raptor. That was amazing, to be fair. Good evening, Matt. How are you? And have you noticed that Low Cost Beer, Smiling Grape, aka, are doing now their breaking brews, or I can't remember what the actual terminology used, but basically they've got a load of big beers on there, like from Vault City Brewing, some absolute bangers. It'd be interesting to compare the prices against shops, but I would have thought that Smiling Grape aren't daft. They'll put themselves slightly below everybody else, and then obviously you break the £45 postage and packaging. Jobs are good. Cracking open Thornbridge Necessary Evil Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout, 13%. Get in. Just order the Chinese. Asked him how long it'd be for delivery. Comedian said 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, I looked at the website last night. Some amazing beers on there. Gotta be honest, I reviewed the Verdant. Yes, Verdant. I ain't got a fucking clue how you say it. The Verdant last night. Yeah, depending on, I don't care how you say it. Verdant for me. But anyway, thick as fuck. Fucking beautiful. Top end dipper. You drink that and the thickness was fucking amazing. You know, I drink some dippers and they're really quite thin. And I understand then why they command the price, because obviously there's a lot more going into them beers. It's not just about sugar for ABV, it's about whatever else they're putting in. Same with the Wylam beer last night that I had that came online today, the review. Again, that was an absolute stunner. Send another off to collect it. Bless her. Look at, yes, Derby Beercon. Yeah. And what day are you going? Tell me it's the Saturday. Yeah. Yeah. First time ever over to Derby. First time on my own to Derby, at least. I'm going to catch the Red Arrow from Nottingham. Hopefully it'll get me somewhere near. 2 o'clock till 9. Oh, fair play, fair play. Thank God there's people there that I know, because I'm going on my Todd. Not even the wife's going. Verdant Beak, wine, and more solid. Yeah, there was decent, to be fair. Crummy and Mark are coming over as well. Ah. Crummy's going. Oh. I'd have to chat him up. Because if he's going on bus or whatever, 5-minute walk from the bus station, jobs are good, and whoa, I'm up for that. As long as I get back on the bus to Nottingham, yeah. I should be able to make my way from Nottingham there. I said that. Fucking hell. Yeah. I know my way home from anywhere in Nottingham, and I still got lost and fell on my face, and yeah, got the bruise, and still got the bruising to prove it. Yeah. And I've still never been able to get my fucking beer reviews off my phone. I'll read them again, yeah. So here's the vocation. It's been a while, to be fair. Derby Brewing Co. Tap House is near the bus station as well. Oh, a few hours at the Craft Beer Festival. Hustlers Market. I know they do beers as well. Suds and Soda if it's nearby. Derby Brewing Co. Tap House. I'll have to go in absolutely full to the face with food and just take it steady. Yeah. Do you not feel as beer people that sometimes you don't want a third of a beer? You want 50 mils or a small sample rather than. It's got a funny aroma to it. Rather than a third, because when you want to try a lot of beers, a third sometimes, especially if it's an impy, is too much. And he's saying that, and look what I've got. So I can smell the mint. You put your nose at a certain who drinks homebrewing beer by the pint. Yeah, that's in my own house. I'm good in my house. And don't forget as well, in your own house, if you brew your own beer. So that's my own beer, obviously. Once I've drank 2/3 of that, I know that beer has little to no effect on me. So I can drink 750 mils of that in a night and it does not affect me at all. When it's a new beer or a beer I've not tried for a long time, that sort of will affect me a hell of a lot more. It's amazing. Your body's like a computer, and I've said this before on beer reviews, that you get used to drinking something, and when you get used to drinking it has a lot less effect than for that first or second time. I've drank quite a bit of my sticky toffee and my rum and raisin, certainly the rum and raisin. That's going down. I'm sure them bottles are emptying themselves. But yeah, it's going down far too quick. But I'm drinking it and it has no effect like it the first time. First time, couple of thirds, I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, that's strong. Now it's like, oh, I have a drink of water. And it's just like that. It's not the fact of getting drunk, it's the fact that it just doesn't hit me anymore. Anyway, vocation. Proper job now, second beer. Mixing beers is good because mixing beers actually helps you get more drunk than just drinking the same beer. It's like somebody drinking 10 Fosters. Yeah, we could all do that easy. You know, maybe not the first time, but certainly the second time. But if you mix Fosters with Carling, then with Coors, then with Carlsberg, all them different tastes and different water hitting you, and you'd struggle probably to get to about 7, unless you're a real legend. But then at 4%, I mean, 10 should be very doable, you'd think. I've got the Conor McGregor stout in the fridge. Anyone else tried it? Forged Irish stout. Never heard of it, mate. No. Is that the one that's supposed to? I remember you saying something to me about one that's supposed to be in. Was it Morrison's or somewhere? Or was it Asda? I went into Asda and they didn't have it. Nottingham is absolutely shite for beers. Nothing in Asda. Right. Yeah, I remember you saying it. So I went into Asda because you said it. Nothing. No. I've been into Home Bargains last night because a couple of people had got the new Asda Home Bargains beers, and the small Home Bargains I'd fuck all in. I could fall for £6. Only got it because the bloke next door works in Asda. Ah. So maybe it's only on the fall for £6 then. Okay. I'll have to go in again. Is the dog's bollocks? Yeah, it is. Necessary Evil. First one I had was amazing. Anyway, you can smell the mint on this. Good evening, Mr. Hopsey, Mr. Rob. How are you? 5 years, yeah. 13 years. Oh, legend, mate, legend. And actually, you're probably more controlled than what I am, which is something to tip my hat off to. I did watch quite a bit of your live the other night, to be fair, and until it was time for Betty Buys. But yeah, it's decent, and obviously good to see you as usual. Pack of 4 for £6. I need to have a look in. I do try and get new beers when I can. Though these days, do you not find in supermarkets, literally when they do a range review and they bring out new beers, there's 6 new beers, 4 of them are DDH IPAs, and it's like, what the fucking hell's the difference between them? And you look and you think, but they're all boring. One DDH and then something else that's a bit bonkers. Yeah, you'd buy all 6. But when they're all the same or very similar, bar a bit of ABV, you know, a bit of percentage, and it's like, so which one do you go for? You know, and like I say, I think supermarkets are playing a game these days, because certain parts of the country, Carlisle seems to get all the beers before everybody else. Bowman Beer Reviews. He, I'm not sure if he's still doing it, because obviously Carlisle have gone up now, so maybe he's gone back into football and left the beer reviews down a bit. But certainly, he was at the top end of the scale there. I used to buy everything, beer and buildings. I used to buy every single new beer, but they get fucking boring. I don't want 4 IPAs that are the same. I want a stout, an IPA, maybe a sour, different styles of beers. That's interesting. That says to me, oh, I'll have them all, but I don't want 4 of the same. Not at all. Supermarket beers enough now. I've cut my overall intake down, buying lots of lager, lots of session stuff, avoiding the £3 to £4 supermarket stuff. Yeah, and in some ways, supermarkets are being a bit greedy. If I was the supermarket, if I was talking to the supermarkets now, I would say you've got a lot of breweries in the country doing modern traditional. Leave the craft stuff, because craft stuff in supermarkets is reduced down in price so hard that the craft beer makers are struggling to make any profit whatsoever. They are. It's as simple as that. Put more trad in supermarkets, modern traditional, and, you know, give a lot more breweries that do that a chance. Today's supermarkets, it's the same bloody breweries, and a lot of the beers, they've not changed much in years. A lot of new stuff that came, then breweries have either gone or they've just gone back to the old people. It may be the fact that they can't produce it cheap anymore, which is probably the reason in a lot of ways. Exactly, Matt. Keep chopping and changing your styles and drinking. Yeah. I mean, you'd look at me and you'd think, oh, always imperial stouts, but no. At Nottingham Craft Beer Festival, I was drinking lots of low ABV. Still fell on my face and did what I did, but still can't believe I can't get me blooming. I can't wait to get my reviews off that phone. I'll get them off. I will one day. Can't see a point of buying a craft beer imitation beer for £3.50. Pack of 4 Camden off menu IPA, solid IPA for £5. Yeah, I mean Camden. Yeah, it's just fair for what it is, isn't it? Good evening, John. 5 years. Yeah. It's been a while. But it's been decent. Yes. Congratulations. Cheers, La Humla Susie. Thank you. Stella Unfiltered is surprisingly nice. Also a fan of Brewdog Black Art. Yes, a Brewdog Black Art. It's brewed to go straight up against Guinness, obviously, and it's doing a good job. You know, it's more flavourful than Guinness. It's better than the standard Guinness. Put it up against Foreign Extra. Bit more interesting then, but obviously ABV is different, so you've got to think about that as well. You'll be lucky to get 4 bottles of trad for £6 the way it's going. It's only Tesco's now doing that 4 for £6.50, £2.30 a bottle, or 4 for £6.50. It's a fucking no-brainer to get the 4 for £6.50, like I did the other night. No-brainer at all. Good evening, Addy, and welcome. Foreign Extra is a proper bit. Yeah, it's decent, isn't it? I'd still love to get the Ghanaian version of Foreign Extra. I've never seen that anywhere. I do need to go to somewhere like Beers of Europe although they pissed me off because I went there and then I went on the website and all I could see was one person's face. And at that time, I hated them. And I thought, I'm not fucking buying from you again. So, yeah, stop buying from them. I don't think I've ever bought any from Trembling Madness. I need to. Just out of, one day. And but at the moment, there's always something else to spend your money on. And I don't mean beer. I mean just other things. Good evening, Tad. It's been a while, matey. Bought for £6.50 in Bridlington Tesco. Proper job. Bottles of Wold Top Blonde. Well, I like Wold Top. They're a good brewery. Do you not think now, with when you look at supermarket beers and when you look at breweries, that the gap now in between supermarket and breweries is as close as it's ever been, and it's worth spending a few quid more and supporting a brewery than supporting the greedy fucking supermarkets. And that gap is closed to its closest it's ever been. And if we look at, I'll give you an example. Ramsbury Brewery, Harry, Blue Nose Beer Reviews, 12 mixed bottles, 30 quid, right? So you'll go to a supermarket now and you'll be paying like £2.50 a bottle, unless you're getting that 4 for free or 4 for £6.50, £2.50 a bottle. So that gap now is closed, and it now makes, especially if you can get free delivery, it makes perfect sense to actually look at what the breweries are doing over supermarkets, especially if it's a mixed crate. My next mixed crate will be Ramsbury Brewery. If only for the fact that I want to see what the good guy is making and review his beers. And got some good deals from Love Brewing. They're shutting their shop. Yes, I've heard this. Yes. Is it the Chesterfield shop staying, isn't it? But is it the Liverpool shop that's going? I have heard that. Ramsbury very well priced. There's a YouTuber called Seaside Mark Pisshead. I think I've heard of his name. I've heard of his name. Not real Pisshead, a little bit. He gets beers from Cern Abbas Brewery, Dorset. They want 45 quid for 12 bottles delivered. Beer's so dear in shops in the air. And you can see why homebrew's kicking on. But homebrew's getting more beer as well. Going online, pal. No Chesterfield. Chesterfield's shutting. Wow. So that means they're shutting both. They've shut the Liverpool shop. Chesterfield's shutting as well. Ooh. So are the deals online deals? Just for anybody else watching out there who hasn't really noticed. I've noticed that some of the creative winemaking, they've had some cracking deals on beer kits. Ooh. If they can wait a week and a half, I'll have some pennies. No, next week actually. Click and collect from them, just clicking and up from the industrial estate. So anyway, not getting any bourbon on this. This is 9 months in a bourbon barrel, but I'm certainly not getting yeah, Benjamin. I mean, you look, and on a shop, you're paying all the rent, staff. Although the staff will probably be chucked back into the actual, the warehouse. And you can understand why homebrew shops and that are closing and are just going back to a warehouse setting. I can understand that. Treebor, it's been a while. How are you, matey? I can understand why they're going back into that. And homebrew itself, you can understand why homebrewers, when you look at a pint of beer is literally £4 and upwards now. Although I did go to a micro pub in Giltbrook and it was £3.50 a pint. Every single beer was £3.50 a pint. No difference. £3.50 a pint. It's fucking hell. That's good. If only they had 20 taps on. Wow. But Had a Hobgoblin Ruby. A mixed box of malt at 5% ABV. Yeah, the single bottle supermarket still 5.2. The Nut River longer BB day. Strange, isn't it? I don't understand why bottles from the same brewery would have a different ABV. It's just bonkers. Surely it's all made in the same brewery, same time. Why would you have a different ABV? That's absolutely weird. Shops selling model cars and trains. See them, how they survive. Benjamin, without going into too much detail because I'm online, but there's a lot of money to be made in model trains. Yeah, a lot of money. And that's about as much as I dare say online. um, can't remember now. Brain shit. My brain's shit when it comes to things. New tax rules will have an effect. Cheers in Long Eaton is now closed. Wow. This government and its failed policies, and obviously the world as well, certainly not open the booze world. They call it 5% when it's really still 5.2 and legally pay less tax. Yeah, that's a way, isn't it, Benjamin? Yeah. How can you check it? You can check it, but you have to go to a laboratory to check it. No one's going to a laboratory to check on fucking 0.2%. Looks like all homebrew is going online. Ooh. I mean, to be fair, Creative Winemaking in Ilkeston, they have their warehouse, but their warehouse is also their shop. So for them, it makes no difference whether the shop's open or not because they're there anyway. They can serve a customer and then go back to doing work. So yeah, I can understand. You've got to cut costs, haven't you? You know, there are allowed deviations in the actual ABV list on the bottle. It's about 0.5% either way they advertise, isn't it? I have heard that before about deviations. So 12.2%. It's going to be interesting to do the beer versus beer. For those just joining and who haven't been here for an hour, I'm doing beer versus beer for the Wraggys' 5th birthday. Vocation Brewery, 12.2%. Get it from Tesco's, £4.30 a bottle for a 330 bottle, versus the Wraggy Brew Sticky Toffee Imperial Stout. I paid basically £1 a pint to brew mine. Similar ABVs. One's 12.2, one's 11.5, and I'm still drinking this, so I will actually make a start and at least we'll look at colour, thickness, and go from there. So let me put my bottle up there. Not that my bottle means anything because it's bloody it's a clear bottle. I shall drink the rest tonight. Yeah, unless I fall asleep early. 75 today. Happy birthday, mate. 75. Fucking hell. Do you know, like most people in the chat, we all hope we can get to 75. You know, keep going. So here we go. Finally, people are thinking, now finally, Vocation versus the Wraggy Brew. I ought to use different glasses. It made it a lot easier. Although one does smell of mint and one smells of sticky toffee. Looks wise, yeah, they're not far off actually. That's retaining its head ridiculously well. So it's been poured all that time. Bit of carbonation going off there, methinks. And there's the Vocation. Looks wise, there's literally nothing in between it. Looks wise. Aroma. Now that was 9 months in a bourbon barrel. Not sure what bourbon barrels or how big the barrels are. My only curiosity with Vocation is the fact that it's in every Tesco supermarket. How big are these bloody barrels? And how long is it actually staying in the barrel? It says it's 9 months in the bourbon barrel. Is it a month in the bourbon barrel and then 9 months aging? Or is it truly 9 months in a bourbon barrel? I know this because I know the good people over at Bang the Elephant, Neon Raptor, and you put a beer into a barrel for 9 months and you will get complexities from the wood that are off the charts. And whilst there are some complexities, all I'm getting is mint. I'm not getting no wood from the barrel. The wooden element is not there. I mean, technically, that should win all day long. Mine shouldn't, being a home brewer, should never win against a professional commercial brewery. But again, I do question. Don't want to put Vocation down, but there's not a lot of wood coming through in that, which is really interesting. Is it really stayed 9 months in the barrel? It's curious for me. I know because I've spoke to a lot. I know these local breweries that have done all this. So on the nose, you do get the mint, but then there's this aroma that I'm not quite liking. Yeah, the mint I get, and again, there's a funny aroma on it. Now this one, mine, piss off. It's been out a bit longer. Really ought to have poured a little bit of fresh in. Let me pour a bit of fresh in. So it's unfair when I literally poured it an hour ago. That's better. So the sticky toffee, and yeah, you can smell the toffee now, much more. But there's near enough like a bourbon-esque thing going off of this, more so than this. But this hasn't been aged in bourbon; it's been aged in the plastic barrel. This has been. So yeah. In any case, on the nose, and only because I do get the mint, but I get that oven thing on the nose that I'm not really keen on. And I've got to be honest, mine smells better on the nose than that. Anyone try putting homebrew in perfect draft kegs? I've had good results. Wow, that's good. Any way to reuse perfect draft kegs is good, isn't it? You know, if you can fill them and the beer comes out good, then woof, fair play. I've still got my pint to one, and I did a brew, and I reckon it was too thick, and it didn't come out. And I've washed the bugger, and I can't get nothing to come out the tap, nothing. So I'm at that stage where I'm gonna lob the bleeder because it's you know, you think to yourself, oh, sod this, I just can't be bothered. So anyway, beer versus beer, taste test time. Wow. Location, mine. Here we go. Okay, now there's a nice, I won't call it mega thick, not as thick as the Verdant Dipper that I reviewed yesterday. That was thick. It was thick youth. But it's tasting thick. I'm getting the mint cough. I'm also getting a little bit of the bourbon, the woodiness coming through. So whilst the aroma delivers bugger all on the bourbon side, the taste does actually deliver. Always phone up a pizza man, pizza place, ask you to deliver. Yeah. So mine, quick go of mine. Whoa. So that's 11.5. That's 12.2. I get a nice thickness from that. I get the toffee, but getting a real kick of booze on ABV, which is ridiculous. That tastes stronger than that. Yeah, 12.2, 11.5. And fucking bonkers. It's something that's, 0.7% lower, but it tastes a hell of a lot stronger. Ridiculous. I put a lot of my homebrew straight into reusable bottles. Trevor, I do the same, matey. I use pop bottles, wash them out, sterilize them, and then rinse them. And, I keep reusing them. I like pop bottles because, one, if you've had pop, you've already paid for the bottle. You're reusing it. You're saving the world a little bit at a time. If they get a bit, what's the word? Fermenting's a bit heavy, they'll just carry on until you undo the cap, and then they piss out all over the place. But these things happen. So, it's really difficult. Again, that bloody aroma. There's a lovely mint aroma. There's an aroma that's with the mint. I can't stand it. You may not, or you may have tried this and you may not have got it, or it may be the fact that it's there's so much of this that it's got a bit old now in the bottle, older in the bottle. And I've got to be honest, truthfully honest, that is the winner. My all grain homebrew beats possibly the biggest, I would think probably the biggest of all the supermarket beers at the moment, ABV wise. Whether it's the best or not, hard to know. Because you'd have to go through them all again, and I'm not doing that job. Far too much hassle. But Wraggys Beer Reviews beer, for me at least, is tops that. That is interesting. That is really interesting. So anyway, back to the comments. 5 years of the channel. Bought my bottles off the internet 2 years ago. 500ml plastic bottles. Yeah, at least with brown plastic bottles, I cannot understand why Green King use clear glass in the shops. I can't understand that. It's weird. I used to use the Cooper's homebrew brown plastic bottles. They were really good. Didn't have to mess about capping glass bottles. Yeah, capping bottles is. I mean, my good friend Andy brought his capping machine down. So yeah, I've got it here, and I capped these. So he actually cleaned a load of bottles out, and then brought the bottles down. So I used the capping machine, and I can see the good thing about reusing bottles and putting fresh caps on. I can, if you've already got the bottles because you've drank beer, a bit of washing out, a bit of recapping, yeah. But for me, if I'm being brutally honest, I'd rather have a 1 litre or 2 litre bottle, and because I can drink a litre in a night. Drink about 3 or 4, but I can certainly drink a litre in a night, and that's gone, so I don't have to worry about it. Thinking about Derby BeerCon, Matt, what breweries interest you coming to Derby BeerCon? I know Tartarus are going. I've seen Tartarus. Bang the Elephants are going to be there for the first time. It's quite exciting. Fire Rock are also going to be there, so that's really exciting. Fire Rock have learned from Bang the Elephant that you bring your big beers, you know, beer festivals. This is what I like about them. Beer festivals are a place to show off your beers. And for me, any brewery brings, a few shitty beers, and it's like, where's your big beers? Where's your statement beers? Get a small batch kit and brew them on a small batch. Brew a few kegs. And a lot of breweries are going down this small batch route where they'll do the pale ales on the big kit, which I can understand that pale ales pay the bills. But on the small batch kit, brew the stuff that you want to brew. And, make those beers that you want to sell at a beer festival to say, my name's blah, blah, blah. Here's my beer. Fucking taste that. And, Bang the Elephant top of the list. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah. And this is something, I mean, obviously, I know Michael and Nige and Tom, who's now working there. A Wraggy beer winning the 5th anniversary. That's weird. But if you was there now and you was drinking, you would get the same as me. I won't put my beer against Vocation and Vocation lose if my beer didn't taste better. I mean, my beer was up against 30 beers at the Wraggy Wedding, and on the night before when I drank it, I'm like, oh shit. I'm there thinking, poured a bit out and I thought, let's have a taste, because if it's shit, I'll pull the barrel. I'm not putting my beer for a load of people to drink. Brewers of beer and the beer community to drink, and then turn around and say, that beer's a bit shit. And they drank it, and every single person that came to me who tried it says, fucking hell, that's a bit special. That was the thing that really made me smile, and it was amazing. Anyway, as for Bang the Elephant, they've still not heard anything about this Bang the Elephant and Emperor's Brewery pub that's opening. They was open to be open by August. We're now at the end of August, well, middle of August. Still not heard anything. The minute it opens, I'll be down there taking the old Wraggys camera and the wife. I need to get home somehow without falling over. Taking the old wallet down and reviewing everything they've got on, and taking a shitload of videos. But yeah, still not heard no. I'm hoping to get down the brewery next week at some stage, Monday or Wednesday. Maybe Monday or Tuesday, actually. So hoping to get down the brewery and have a bit of a chat and see what the hell's cracking. And maybe take a couple of videos of the brewery. I've never actually done a video of their brewery. So yeah, get the lads in on the act. Yeah. Forest wandered up. Yes! Come on! Am I a Forest fan? Yeah. Who scored? I can't watch it anyway because I haven't got the ability. So it's nice to know they're winning. But yeah, the world of beer. I do love the world of beer. And it's not just the case of getting drunk. We can all get drunk whenever we feel like it, If you really wanted to get drunk, you can go down the Sainsbury's or whatever they are and get yourself some of the cheap shit fucking cider and get steaming on that. Good evening, Mr. Gota, Mr. Dave. And it's good to see you, matey. It is good to see you. We need another night. We need a night out in Nottingham with you. Get Liam, Shane, and anybody else who can make it, whatever day it is, whenever it can be done. Obviously on a Friday or Saturday night, go and do the, like just a meet up of friends, down in Nottingham. There is in Ilkeston sometime in November the Urban Chicken Tap Takeover. So you was at the last one because you surprised us. There's another one coming in November, and that was a fucking top-notch day. And it was one of the best of days. Them days when you're in a pub and literally no one's being a dickhead, which you don't want anyway. Everyone's enjoying the beer. They're all supporting a local brewer. Other breweries are coming in to support the local brewer. And, you know, that to me was it. And I still say it's probably one of the best days I've ever had out, because the beer community were there, the brewery community were there, the local beer drinkers were there, and it was a culmination of everyone coming together. Just a fucking stunning day. So I'm off the bus, and in the pub was shit Doom Bar. Fucking hell. So my Newark workplace, they're putting Doom Bar on the bar on keg. Fucking Doom Bar. And it's like shit. And I said, when she said it, and I said, fucking Doom Bar. I thought, of all the shit fucking beers to put on the bar, I'm not in charge. So, you know, I can't tell them what fucking beer to choose, but I wouldn't have chose that. And thanks for the 5 years. Congratulations. Yeah, cheers, matey. Yeah, we'll have to do something, mate. We'll have to sort out a night, get the lads down. I'll get the missus out and get the happy drinkers out, because you'll love them all. We'll have a good laugh. Sam, good evening, sir. How are you? And it's been a while. Although I did join in, not join in, but I might join in on feeds tonight, to be fair, because wife's not here, and as long as I'm not too wankered, joining on somebody else's feed, probably Kent Beer Reviews if he's doing a feed. And or anybody else who's doing the feed, to be fair, join in and yeah. So, not going to bed over tonight. Fuck going to bed over. Yeah. I can sit down, talk beer, and have a beer as well, as you do. And the wife's out; she's doing her thing at me daughter's hen do. Hope that goes all well. And I'm here. Both my locals are Doom Bar. Yeah, I mean Doom Bar's better than Carl and Carlsberg. But still, 5 years. Oh God, I'll be in 5 years. Well, touch wood, you know, because we never know. We never know the future. But hoping so anyway. It'd be a laugh to get back on. I've not done anything on anybody's YouTube channels for a while. I am at work tomorrow morning, mind you, so I can't be on too late. But it would be a laugh nonetheless. AD, you know, back in 2020, I reckon that this channel was possibly the leading channel across all YouTube, certainly for beer, because of daily live chats. You know, the community back then, I mean, obviously, a lot of people have come and gone. A lot of people had to go back to the work. But, you know, that was an amazing year. Once the channel hit that 1,000, and these days you can go live on 6 fucking people. Once you've got a few subscribers, if you use the right like StreamYard, you can go live anyway. I didn't know that back in the day. Had I known, I'd have gone live then. But the channel back then, yeah, it was equally as a saviour for whoever watched the channel as it was for me. You know, on the darkest days of my life, back then, make no bones about it. The channel, you know, the beer community talking and all that, and it helped me out as much as it helped anybody else out, and guided me through a fucking rough time. I mean, 3 years ago today, I basically knew I'd got the job. I'd gone for the for the what do you call it, induction day. Took a sickie, an unpaid sickie to get an induction day. Hey, fuck 'em. And did the induction day, and on my Facebook it will show up soon, and there'll be videos that I'm gonna blurt onto the internet, and the difference between me now and then, wow. No, I only need to look at some reviews where the reviews are so fucking dark. And nowadays, you know, I mean, no life's perfect. We all have ups and downs, but oh dear. Right, need to get some beer down me. That's mine. That's Vocations, and it's still got that whiff. I can smell the mint, but there's this whiff that you get. It's not the nicest of smells. I'm going to drink it because it's £4.30. And yes, Tribor, gardening at both hotels, matey. So Cockliffe and Kelham, and the journey in 3 years. At Cockliffe, there's more of a journey because Kelham's more about big lawns, not so much about flower beds and shrubberies. At Cockliffe, there's a kitchen garden. There's a whole massive amount of flower beds I've put in. I know, it is on a 4 for free. But yeah, the journey, and obviously, you know, in any journey, it carries on, and you win some in gardening, in life. You win and you lose. You know, this year has been an amazing year. I've won on certain things because everything's growing like an absolute twat. But on other things that don't like too much rain, they've suffered. So, and you never know this until you actually grow stuff. And it's bonkers because this year, butternuts, pumpkins, watermelons, squash and gourds are growing amazingly. All the plants are growing amazingly. Tomatoes have had a battering this year. Well, yeah, we did think COVID was going to finish us, didn't we? COVID was scary, you know. When you think about the scaremongering that went off, and I mean, obviously, some people, according to the world of media, died of COVID, and you know, we will never know all the facts because nobody's going to tell you all the facts. For anybody who's lost anybody due to COVID or suspected COVID, obviously that's a real terrible thing. You know, one would never want to downplay that. But do we know all the facts? Will we ever know all the facts? I doubt it. I doubt we'll know all the facts. Never. Treebor's never had the jab. I had the first two, mate. I never had the others. Any of these follow-up jabs. Absolutely. I got to the stage where I'm thinking, for fuck's sakes, what are these jabs for? Are we being jabbed with water? It was amazing. As somebody who watched X-Files, the amazing thing for me is how quickly they got a vaccine. So you can get a vaccine for COVID within a year or so. Where's the fucking vaccines for cancer? Where's the vaccines for Parkinson's and all these other diseases? If you can work as a worldwide health organization to beat COVID, why can you not do the same to beat cancer and all these others? It just baffles me why, with such technology that supposedly was there, why can you not do the same? We'll never know, rightly or wrongly, we'll never know. Still has Russian lady still in my life, plus a Welsh woman. Hey, hey. You only have here once. Fair play, mate. You only are here once. Definitely. uh, yes, we do remember the Russian lady in the lives. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, although I do watch the X Files. I did work with somebody who was proper conspiracy. You know, fucking hell. If someone used the cup before him, he's like, "Why's my cup being used? Who's used my cup? Has someone sprayed something on my cup?" And yeah, bless him. Yeah, he'd be one of these who would wipe every door handle before he walks into a room. But Russia had a vaccine. It was called Sputnik. Not a joke. Fucking hell. Which one am I on now? Eh? I swear the vocation's got a bit more bloody bourbon in it now. Good evening, Shane. And it does make you wonder, doesn't it? You know, have you noticed since COVID that the controlling of governments seems to be getting more there? There seems to be more of these. What was it? What was it the other month? Fucking monkeypox or something. And how was that? That's died a death all of a sudden, hasn't it? There's nothing in the news. And it does make you wonder, you know, if you look at the news, if there's a lot of bullshit going off, and we'll never know. You'll never know the right if it's right or if it's wrong. But there's a lot of stuff going off in it like that. Are we being played? Can't tell. No idea. But it makes you wonder. Good evening, Steve, and thank you. 5 years. Wow. Obviously, lots of beer reviews. Plenty of drunken beer reviews. Maybe a couple of drunken beer reviews tonight, although maybe not on my channel. Yeah, I might see who's about there tonight and join their channel. Yeah, yeah, they can get the drunken side. I'll just stay sober on my channel. Monkeys seem proximity to a certain bit of our population. Yeah, it was a weird one, wasn't it? The old dog shit beer reviews. Oh, they were great. Yeah, I ain't got a dog anymore, which is sad. I used to love coming out with the dog, come down the beer room, quick beer review, dog shit beer review. And obviously can't do it now because, you know, no Charlie booze, no excuse. And yeah, can't even come down for a sneaky beer these days. Shocking. Although there's always ways. I'm not going to tell you that though. Pharmaceuticals don't make money out of a cure. Exactly. Bare buildings. Exactly. That's interesting, isn't it? World leaders can't agree the grass is green. I can't imagine them all getting together and plotting something like COVID. Yeah, I do understand that, mate. I do. But if anyone watched X Files, there was a darker conspiracy than the world's governments. And again, whether you believe it or not, and were X Files and not only that, Simpsons, apparently Simpsons foretold a lot of stuff that goes off. X Files foretold COVID and the vaccination program. X Files foretold that in their last season, their last proper season, not that bollocks season that came out, but their last proper season. And it's weird. It really is weird. I'm not. I'm not either one side or the other, but I'd like to know. It's like with UFOs. Are they real? Are they not? Are aliens real? I mean, let's be fair. I only have to look across the road, and at the top of the road, I'm convinced they're real. Yeah. Most awful people you've ever seen in your life. Got the most awful personalities. And yeah, ET looked better. Yeah. Oh, can't be a good old life, can you? Yeah. You do have to watch what you say, though. So now, finally, after about an hour of this being open, is that bourbon starting to come through, which is bonkers, because bourbon in a beer should be coming through pretty much the minute you pour your beer. I totally agree. Iraq, no Mansa 01. Yeah, I totally agree, mate. There's a lot of fishiness going off in the world. But you can't say anything until you really know. And who's brave enough? Is any country brave enough to say that COVID was no country would turn around and say COVID was manufactured to kill off the weak, the old, because no country could do that, because it would bring down governments. It would be you would have riots on a scale that you'd never seen. No country could ever do that. It makes you wonder. It does. So I went to Lidl's and found these luminous lights 7.4. I've had that before. Zoom time 4.5. I've had that before. Lost in Mosaic. Sure, I've had that before. Stewart Brewing Nipah 5.3. Yeah, I mean Lidl. Still smashing it on the craft beer front with their support of Scottish breweries. Those Scottish breweries are making a lot out of it, but yeah, they're introducing people into craft beer. That I still like. I do like the fact that people are being introduced into craft beer. Benjamin, no jabs, no regrets. Fair play, mate. Fair play. Brookside was ahead of its day in '90. It was mysterious, mystery, contagious disease storyline where the road was cordoned off to quarantine. Then I never watched Brookside, to be fair. No, apart from the lesbian bit. I remember watching something to do with a couple of girls snogging. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I don't know why that triggered the old raggy. I'm sure it was Brookside. I think it was the only reason I watched the channel. And I'm not going anywhere near that route again. So I haven't been the same since the jabs, BGB. That's scary, isn't it? It's scary. Liverpool probably got a few unique STIs. I got those little ones. They weren't in the other week. Still once bitten, just have to take the homebrew medical gear. The Belgian mix box was back in. Yes, it was. Get it on YouTube, mate. But yeah, I've seen the Belgian mix box. That would be, to be honest, if I got it, that would be a good live beer night, although only 3 at a time, fuck's sakes. You'd be steaming out your arse, the other. Like he's got lesbian Brookside on his VHS. Yeah. YouTube. I do remember the lesbians, yeah. I played. It was controversial at the time, wasn't it? Funny thing is, though, I've seen a lot of the 70s and 80s videos that are about God knows where, late night on our ITV and that. And there was a lot of dodgy stuff happening in them. I'm sure I'm transitioning to a lesbian. Most men are lesbians, let's be fair. But I'm not going down that. The Belgian box was great from the yeah. I mean, if it's for the price it is it still 13 quid? 13 quid for 6 fucking banging beers, a big ABV. You'd be looking at paying 3 or 4 quid a beer now from supermarkets. So you're looking at about 25 quid's worth of beer for 13 quid. That is staggering. Yeah. was at Flamborough Lighthouse Cliffs this afternoon. 2 blokes wearing denim dresses walked past. Times change. I've been in the supermarket in Sainsbury's, and this person walked past in a skimpy, up the arse miniskirt with a bit of a boob tube thing going off. And yeah, it was like, whoa. And you know, each to their own. Everyone does what they do. But it was funny, yeah. Linda Lovelace, Laura. I might text me about Linda Lovelace. Does ring a bell, that does. God knows where, but it does ring a bell. So now, after all this time, the vocation still getting that rank aroma. You can smell the mint, but there's another element to the aroma. I can't stand it. But on the taste, the mint's there, and then the bourbon, £10.99. Wow. That obviously, this is £4.30. Similar sort of bottle, I would have thought. I would have think the 330 mils. That's 12%. So I think the strongest is about 12%, if memory serves me correctly. So £4 a bottle. Bloody hell. Good evening, Craig. How are you, matey? I've noticed, not that I could join in or anything, but you was down the beach earlier. Was it today or was it yesterday? I can't remember. But hope you're well. Hope your daughter's well and your family. Are you doing a live tonight? Is our good man Craig doing a live? Because I'll be stopping about 9 o'clock, but I'm sure if Craig's doing a live, I might, if I'm not too twatted on the drink, join in. Benjamin's just asked and absolutely got it right. Yay! When it's not your live, you're all right. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to speak too much. Fucking flies. But body under the patio next. I remember that Irish bloke who stuck the body under the patio. Remember that. I think in this world we're in, there's a lot more body. There's a lot more people that have died and been buried than you realise. My beer, my homebrew, brewed all grain, following a commercial brewery's instructions, equals what Vocation have done, if not even better. So it just goes to show you. I mean, I'm Vocation are a brewery that I absolutely respect. But last bit. But it just goes to show you that it can be done. Not now, love. Not now. Oh gosh. 8-hour live stream. No, don't think I go that long. But now I am getting the bourbon from it. So it's took a good hour or more for the bourbon to open up. And it's unusual. It's unusual that something aged in bourbon barrels takes so long to come out. Yeah, I mean, Craig is the king of lives. I mean, fucking hell. 4 5 hours. Him and Mr. Blue Nose Beer Reviews. Harry. Although Harry these days, obviously, he's got a lady on the go now. So bless him. Good on him. And he's not so, well, not that I've seen anyway. Unless YouTube's not telling me. YouTube is just a shit for not telling you there's beer reviews. Or any live streams going off. You know, as I know, because most of the time when I'm doing a live, people will say, I missed your live. And it's like, for fuck's sake, I've scheduled it. I've put when I'm going off. He is back on YouTube. Yeah. He is back under his Blue Nose, but not under the old channel. He's back under a new channel. So he is back on YouTube. His old channel, because he looks like a 20-year-old, still looks like a fucking 20-year-old. But he's had to bring a new channel out because he is back, mate. Yeah. So his old channel, he was getting issues all the time because, you know, even as a 25-year-old, he fucking looks like a 15-year-old. And obviously, you know, it's not fair on him because he just, you know, looks so young. I mean, I only seen him 4 weeks ago. He looked like he was 18. Lucky bastard. Yeah. Some of us look fuck off, moth. Some of us look older than what we are. Yeah. I'm only 30 and I look 60. Yeah. Good night, Max. Yeah, let's hope we win on Sunday. I'm tempted to go to the pub and watch it and have a few beers as well, if the wife's driving. And there we are. Mr. Kent Beer Reviews has actually put up the new Blue Nose Beer Reviews channel. So I thought I was being groomed when I first watching him. How he's sound he is. He knows more about Nottingham than I do. And I've lived here 50 fucking years. Just goes to show you, doesn't it? Good evening, David. It's been a while, sir. And Mr. Dave, yes. And we do need to do a night in Nottingham. At that time, you get a chance, and I'll get a group together. We'll have a night in Nottingham. Make sure you get safely back to your hotel, and yeah, do a night. Get the old fucking live YouTube on. Whatever pub we're in, fuck the pub. We'll just do a live YouTube, and you know, drink the beers, talk shit as we normally do. Only rewatched the video. I'm going to Braintree. Braintree. What was that for? Was that for that beer review? It was a bit dodgy. Where they're trying to, what's his fucking name? I ain't got a clue. I'm trying to think of his name. No, I can't remember. Yeah, Harry's top notch. Harry is. Yeah. Was in Nottingham for years. It's funny, isn't it? If I'd have been doing beer reviews at the same time he was in Nottingham, it would have been a right laugh. Yeah. And yeah, when they were what's his fucking name? That beer review, it seems to upset everyone. The one who drank 10 Belgian beers and was totally sober. Yeah. And where Scott's wankered, and even Real Ale Craft Beer after 7 wankered. Yeah, whatever his name was. I think he was a bit of a hooligan, to be fair, but there you go. Yeah. That's the one, Benjamin. Yeah. It's funny how they both turned up. That was funny. And do you know something? You know, if I mean, I don't know the bloke, not personally. You know, he might be the best bloke in the world who's doing his YouTube thing to make, you know, I don't know. But could you imagine him turning up, talking to them, and all of a sudden they're becoming friends because they understand his ethos. Everyone's got an ethos. They do what they do, or they might have twatted him, one of the two. But yeah. That's Brian. Good evening, sir. I saw that Welsh band at LCBF last Friday. I thought he might be there. Yeah. I have noticed a slight click on the YouTube channels. And yeah, I'm not going to go into names, but I've certainly seen it. Scott on Duval. I've seen Scott on Duval. God, shit. Rather him than me. You know, Duval is fucking evil. And to do what he did, poor bloke, you know, he was wankered. And I'm lucky because these are my beers, and well, this is Vocations, that's mine, and luckily, I think he wasn't talking about all Welsh people, but yeah. Got where I was fucking going there. Goodbye, Vocation. You were good, but you ain't no Wraggys beers. Wow. So, yeah, I'm English. Yeah. What does that mean these days? We've got the shittiest fucking government in the world. Yeah. They make a decision, and 5 hours later they change the decision because all the fucking UK have said that's bollocks. So they've got no balls, no backbone. Was you at London Craft Beer Festival then, Craig? I'd love to go sometime, but I couldn't trust myself to get home. I can't get home from Nottingham without smashing my face in. And and I'm going to Derby in literally about a month's time. And there's an element of me that rubs this scar that's still bruised, and I do have a slightly frightened element that unless somebody's there who's like a guardian angel to make sure that I don't, because like most people I like a drink, obviously, but just to get me on that fucking bus and get me home, but if I'm I may see some people from Nottingham, they may catch the same bus, and once I get off the bus in Sherwood, it's not too far to home. Yeah, there's not too many places to fall over. Cheers, Tad. Thank you for joining in, and hope you're well, mate, and the family. Yeah, Dave's Welsh. You won't really know, but it's funny, Benjamin. But the most places that I see an English flag flying in the UK is Northern Ireland. You go to Northern Ireland, you'll see more English flags flying than anywhere in the UK. The Northern Irish are the most patriotic of all the UK. Not the Scottish, not the English. We're not patriotic, not by any way, shape, or form. But the Northern Irish are the most patriotic. Fucking, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I'm over there and I'm like, fucking hell. You got, that whenever there's an event on, and they're all flying the British and English flags, and it's like, shit, I've never seen this even, and I live in Nottingham, and it's so weird. Stayed in that. Yeah, if ever I do come down to London Craft Beer Festival, I'll have to do that. But obviously, we're good friends, and some sort of angel to make sure they get home safe. Matt, I'll get you a sponge helmet to keep your head safe. Fucking need something. Do you know something? It never bothered me until that night, and that night has really backtracked me. I've never been bothered about drinking, never gave a shit, but falling down and there's elements of that night that scare the hell out of me, and yeah, it did worry me, to be fair. It still does, to be fair. Go, Ted. There's wankers in all flavours. In any country you're in, there's a wanker. In any city, on any street, on neighbours. Yeah. I mean, when I look around my street, there's a wanker down there. There's a wanker over there. Wanker at the top of the street. And there's a wanker next door to them. Because at 4 o'clock in the morning last week, some silly cunt was singing on a fucking work night. And I thought it was the arseholes at the top of the street, and it wasn't. It was another idiot. And so, yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah, it's certainly not a colour thing. It's certainly not a nationality thing. It's the fact that there are wankers. Yeah, can't win them. Yeah. So, wow, 2 hours into a live. It's been a long while since I've done a 2 hour live. Yeah, we're surrounded by wankers. Yeah. I love it. I look into the mirror and I think, well, he's not a wanker. But yeah, but he's getting old. He's got grey hair and a receding hairline. Yeah. And I fucking hate it. I look at, do you look in your mirrors? I look in my mirror upstairs in the bathroom and think, fucking hell, he's a good looking lad, he is. I go to a shop and look in the mirror and I think, fucking hell, who's that twat in the mirror? And Sheffield United have equalised. Bastards. That's put me off. Balls deep into the line. Beak's new tipper. I do like Beak. Yeah, I've had some of their draft. Some mirrors live. Some mirrors live. Fucking do, bastards. My upstairs mirrors couldn't fucking hate it. Lying all the time. New Blades player scored. Tosser. But anyway, yeah. Beak, I do love that brewery. So if we're talking breweries, so we'll go on to another subject, because why wouldn't you? Who's your favourite brewery in the UK at the moment? The favourite brewery, now here's the thing, favourite brewery who are actually legit. Not breweries who are up their own arse, but the breweries that are actually producing very decent beers, but aren't trying to be, we're the best brewery, look at us. Woo. David, are they cheap or dear? Just out of curiosity. I've not paid no attention to prices. Tartarus, AD. I do like Tartarus. Yeah. I was sent some beers from £8 plus. Ooh. Favorite? I do like Thornbridge. I do like Thornbridge. I like Thornbridge because they have craft, they have cask, and they have big impies and fucking bonkers beers. And I've never been to Thornbridge's Taproom. I will get there, but I've no idea when. It's got to be a night where me and the wife can go. I can go through the menu, and I do mean the menu. If there's 20 beers, I'm going through the fucking menu. Thirds, not fucking halves. But I'm going through the menu. But I hope someone's got the fireworks on. It used to be big enough mirror for me now. Mirror, it was fuck off. Yeah, I get that, Dave. Yeah, all day long. The mirrors look at me and think, fuck off, you. Who are you? You used to have hair. Spiky hair. Best brewery that I could pick. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough. Pomona Island. Oh, that's interesting, David. And I get free delivery. Wow. Track. I like Track. I like the fact that don't fucking sign up to their emails though. Jesus, spamming bastards. But Track, I reckon I signed up when I was drunk, and I get fucking spammed to death off them. But their beers are great. They do a range of beers, from milds to porters to dippers to, you know, all sorts of beers. I do like Track, and I did meet him at Nottingham Craft Beer Festival. Not that I've got the review to show you in front of Track that I did, because the fucking can't get my phone. I'm gutted that I can't get my email, my videos. I literally want to pay somebody 50 quid just to get my fucking videos off the phone, because it was an amazing day. I did some amazing beer reviews, well, in my opinion, at least. And I just want to get them off the fucking phone. That was a wet fart. God, I hope not. Track are great in mini keg. Dog in the Window Brewery, yes. Great brewery. Yeah, they are good. And Daya are decent as well, yeah. Free deliveries. I work out inside the Manchester Ring Road. Did I tell you what made me laugh earlier? So, not that I understand it all, as I'm only reading the news, but in London, they've got these ULEZ cameras. Is that a lesbian camera? No, it's not. I think it's down to the fact that they don't want anybody with anything other than an electric car in London. So they put these cameras all the way around London, which is cuntish, because they're already charging for a fucking green thing in London. And apparently 300 cameras have already been stolen or smashed. And out of 2,400, 300 already been smashed or stolen. And I'm thinking, fucking fair play. Fuck you fucking trying to force everybody who can't afford it into getting cars that run on electric. Electric's not always, the battery cars are not always the way to go forward. There's another way. You know, there's always another way. But this fucking government, the Labour mayor wants it that way, so he's forcing them. But people are going back and saying, no, we're not fucking having that. Paul Burton, yes. Source House, a local brewery to me in Nottingham, based in Ruddington. Gardening, their hydroponic gardening is fucking amazing. If I could get a setup doing what they're doing, the yield from relatively low amount of produce is stunning, and it is absolutely the way forward in gardening, without a shadow of a doubt. Benjamin, exactly, yeah. The government, you know, it's all these rich fuckers that telling us how to run our lives, but the rich aren't paying our bills. No, they're fleecing us. They're putting up the cost of living in supermarkets, putting up the cost of mortgages, and so putting up the cost of inflation. Who does inflation work for? The cost of inflation works for the rich. It does not work for anybody else but the rich. So the rich are laughing while everybody else below the rich are suffering. Bastards. Wraggys got ULEZ on video VHS. I ain't got a clue what it is. So, Brian saying the top 5 are Cloudwater, yes. Pressure Drop, not had one from them in a while. Burnt Mill, interesting. Bang the Elephant, wow. And the Colonel, for me, the Colonel are a very, what I would class as modern traditional, but who vary their hops to change their beers. And a lot of breweries are following their example. And it's their fucking example that they're following. Very interesting. ULEZ 2 was a letdown. What's fucking ULEZ 2? My son now lives in Malta, as this country is fucked. Damn right. Colonel, that's a good shot. Colonel, yeah, everyone's saying Colonel, yeah. And I think Colonel are stunning. So I'm going to drink this and this bottle, and then I need to kill the live. But it's been a good live. It's been a good Not as long as last year's birthday live, which lasted about 6 hours. But anyway, I wasn't drinking fucking Imperial Stout. And also, it wasn't 9:05 at night after a long day at work. But that, oh, feeling wankered, gotta be honest. Baker's dozen in Catton, Rutland, Lincoln is great quality. Matey, I'm going to Lincoln a week on Sunday. So literally a week and 2 days, 27th. That one, matey, the barrel aged mint. So that's what I did drink. What I am drinking is the Wraggys, my is it raining? Full grain, all grain, sticky toffee Imperial Stout. So that was 12.2. This is 11.5, but this tastes stronger. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me why. When's the next live? I do need to do more lives. I do. I'm thinking Sunday, because Sunday got 2 bottles of the mint in the garage. Wow. Sunday to do a live, I'm not doing anything I can review, so it's going to have to be more or less homebrew. But I'm thinking rum and raisin impy versus sticky toffee, because the rum and raisins tasting nice, and the sticky toffee tasting nice as well, to be fair. But and it's nice to get back on the lives. It's been a long while. I can remember back in the days. Any camel toes? Yeah, I'm not going down that route. Can't see down there again. But yeah, forgot where I was going now. Totally forgot where I'm going. But yeah, fucking hell. Drink beer, forget. Does anybody else? Am I the only fucking person in the world? Nah, serious question. For anybody still watching, I know it says 21, but that could be fucking 21 bots for YouTube. For anybody watching, you drink beer. Yeah. Well, it's fucking amazing. I've drank so many litres of 11% Imperial Stout. Fucking amazing. Yeah. I can drink it like water. But anyway, let's not go down that road. Hey. But yeah. Oh, fucking hell, I forgot where I was going now. But anyway, yeah. So you have a night in the house, you have a drink. Next minute, you're up the next morning, and that as well. And you're up the next morning, you think, fucking hell, what did I do the night before? And it's yeah. I get sweary before a drink. I get even worse when I've had a drink. And how many people forget or wake up the next morning thinking, what did I do the night before? Did I upset the wife? Did I upset my partner? Because we're not all heterosexual. Did I upset my partner? Did I upset the neighbour? Did I upset the dog? Let's not go down that route. Fucking hell. Or the cat. Yeah, or next door sheep. Yeah, let's not even go down that route. But yeah, chat GPT. But am I the only one who wakes up and thinks, oh, and I'm lying there in the morning, and I'm the first 15 minutes I'm lying there thinking, okay, right, I remember up to a certain point, and I'm thinking to myself, fucking hell, what happened after that point? And I'm dying, and I'm trying to remember, and I can't fucking remember. and that's beer, predominantly beer, or it's fucking Alzheimer's, one of the two, or some other fucking booze related thing. But anyway, that you're getting out. But I'm thinking, what happened? And then later in the day, I'll ring the wife and say, "You all right?" And she says, "Yeah." And when you get up, and yeah. And then all of a sudden I realise I'm in the clear, and I'm like, "Fucking hell!" The heart's pumping, and I'm like, "I'm in the clear," and and I'm not the only one, am I? I can't be the only fucking person. But anyway, back to the thing. Great live. I'm on my fourth and last beer that I play. We'll be around next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will try and get what's your name again? And don't set the sheet back to ours again here. Yes, I too sometimes do get to not my completely my fault, not, but it's completely my fault, not the best. Yes, we have to admit to ourselves that if we didn't drink, we'd know exactly what was going on. And yeah, to admit that the war's won, we have to admit that, and we say moderation, calm it down, less beers, until the point that we know what we're doing for the whole point. That's the key. Yes. Obi-Wan, Ragobi. And again, yeah, exactly, burn buildings. Always worth you piss the wife off. Definitely. Benjamin, I know that feeling, Megan, but I know if I did out that bad, I'd have a black eye. Yeah, thankfully my wife's not physical like that. Thank folk. Yeah, I'd have had plenty of black eyes, but there you go. And I'm fortunate enough that I fall asleep before I can make an ass of myself. Brian, whoa, yes, definitely. I don't usually more than 4 beers in the evening. I don't. But the only problem is, I drink 1 beer. It's 3 pints of 1 beer. Wow, what can you say? Yeah, and it's 13%. But anyway, 9:10. Fucking hell, I've caught everyone way too long. It's been a great Wraggys 5th birthday. 5 years, Wraggys Beer Reviews. Wow, what a journey. And thank you to each and every single person who's come tonight. I have noticed everyone who spoke, but there are also people that watch, that don't speak. We all have a journey in life, and I know that. And you can't, people do what they do, how they do, and that. But yeah, yeah, Benjamin, we've all got drink stories that we can't share publicly. Fucking hell, more than a few, to be fair. But in any case, as always, thank you all for joining in. There will be lots more Wraggys Beer Review lives, and more so. Winter's coming soon. Fucking hell. Where was summer? Eh? It kind of went woof. Summer, where are you? Yeah. Autumn's here. Yeah. Summer's raving back. Yeah. Fuck you, mate. I was there for a couple of weeks. You fucking missed it. Autumn. For fuck's sakes. Got about 4 months at autumn, you twat. But there you go. Yeah. And this is what you get when you're fucking in the shed talking to yourself. Yeah. Dark nights are here. Yeah. It's 9:15. It's fucking dark outside. Yeah. The rats are walking around thinking, yeah, you bastard. Yeah. They're walking around, cocks in hand, thinking, yeah, where's these fucking human wankers? But anyway, I apologise to any ladies watching. Yeah. And slight deviant there from me. But yeah, 5 years. 5 years, both of beer reviews, but also amazing people watching the channel. Without the people, what's your channel? And yeah, I do see the comments coming through quickly, so I know what's been said. But yeah, thank you for everyone. Yeah, without the people, this channel wouldn't exist anyway. And thank you for watching. And if there's any lives going off tonight, I will try and join in. Cheers for watching. See you soon. Cheers. If I'm still sober, obviously.